there, all you YouTubers. Welcome back to Richard's Toy Room once again. And welcome back to another plastic model kit review and build. And today, what we have on our table here is, this is dated 2006 from round 2. And AMT ertl at the time. Made in China. Let's hope they start making them back here in the US again. But we've got this 69 Ford Mustang Mach 1. Now this kit I picked up a few years back at a thrift store. I don't remember what I paid for it. I don't know if this was the price or if... I know I didn't pay $15.59 for it. It might have been $4.99, or maybe it was half off or something like that. I know it was pretty cheap because it was a thrift store and I wouldn't pay that much for something at a thrift store. But it was still factory sealed, so I didn't mind picking something up that I don't have to sit there and worry if half the parts are missing or something important. Anyhow, so this is in the Resto Rods series that they did. Includes Resto Rod parts to customize your muscle machine. At least that's what they tell you on the box. You know, this one's sat in my to-do pile for a while, probably mainly because I look at the art on the box, which is a photograph of the actual model, and it just never really appealed that much to me. It just looks, I don't know, there's just something about it I just don't like. I don't know what it is. It just didn't look awfully realistic to me. So I just kind of kept passing on it. And I don't know, for some reason I was in the mood. I'm about halfway done with the 66 Ford Fairlane model at the time I'm doing this preliminary video on this Mustang, and I don't know, I just kind of got in the mood to do the Mustang. So that's what we're doing. So anyway, to take a look at the box, you got a couple of pictures on the side here of, I believe this is the stock version over here, and this is the same car that's on the cover. And the ends of the boxes are the ends of the box are the same as the lid, and then you got this side, which is just like some information. So, I guess what we'll start off with is the paperwork that came in the kit. You got some decals. Not a whole lot of them. Mostly what you have here are some body stripes, and I think these are like grill emblems, or I'm not sure if they give you a 2 or if one of the emblems goes maybe on the trunk. And it's a couple license plates, that's it. So I probably will use the Mach 1 decals, not these oddball looking ones here. The thing is though, I don't know if all the Mach 1 had this color scheme, because they wouldn't stand out on certain color cars, and they probably had other colored decals that would go along with the different paint colors. But anyhow, that's what we have to deal with there. So here's the booklet. This is a freaking big booklet, and it's not really a booklet. It's a fold-out worksheet, and it won't even fit on the table here. It's so big. So we'll just kind of go little by little on it. Mostly it's big because the pictures are a little bit oversized on it. But from what I could tell from looking at the instructions here, it almost looks like you can build 3 complete engines with this without any overlapping parts. I could be wrong on that, but if so, I'm going to build all 3 engines, and then I'll build a couple of my custom stands to hold them, because I don't think this comes with any engine stands for not duplicate, but extra engines, like some kits do. But anyway, I'll be doing the stock engine, I know that. But you can see it comes with this engine, and it shows this one too. And just kind of looking real quick at it, it didn't look like any of the parts overlapped. So, I mean, I could be, like I said, could be wrong on that. But if they don't, I'm going to try to build all 3 engines. All right, then we go. It's awful thick paper too. move over to the wheels. It shows you how to build 3 different types of wheels here. Then jumps over to the interior. They give you a custom option of custom bucket seats. Or you can also put a roll bar or some like racing seats in there. Move over to this side. Then it tells you to put one of your engine choices in, your wheels on, your exhaust, your rear axle. And then it gives you custom and rod versions of those, although I think they're all the same. Just different exhaust options there. Then over here you're doing your final assemblies. And it tells you which ones to use for the particular version that you're building. And then the decals. And that's it. Speaking of tires, they give you not 1, not 2, but 3 complete sets of tires. 12 tires in this kit. Now, these are like the directional tires that will come on a modern car. They are Goodyears, but they're the low profile type tires. I won't be using those. Then they give you more of the kind of wider, again, also Goodyears. And they're all black walls. All 3 types are all black walls. And then the stock Goodyear tires. They're a little bit narrower. And these are solid tires. So there's no sliding these over the completed wheels. That goes for the other tires. That goes for the other tires too. And the lightly gray parts can't wait to get out here, so let's get them out so you can see them. Strangely enough, we'll just start out with these. I didn't take them out of the bag. They give you, I've never gotten a separate steering wheel in a bag before. And both of the steering wheels are just taped to the larger bags of parts for some reason. One is a, one looks like a, this one looks like a stock steering wheel from the 60s, and this looks like a later Mustang steering wheel. That's probably for the custom, obviously. They give you, obviously you're going to have different wheels for all these different tires, and this is 2 of some of them for some, don't know which ones. These look like they might be the other 2 here, and then these are deeper ones for some of those wider tires. You got some body and engine parts on this tree. Some more engine parts. It seems like a lot of this kit is engine parts. Some seat belts. Then you get, here's your rear axle and some exhaust, and all your seats. And on here you got your firewall, your hood. I think these are some exhaust parts, an optional hood scoop, the radiator. There's a couple more seats, some more exhaust, wheels, and engine parts. And surprise, some more engine parts. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is a ertl, it says on this. It doesn't say AMT or ertl, just says ertl. So maybe that's what it was originally released as, an ertl kit. But like I said, more engine parts. Here's your chassis floor pan. It's got some subframe parts built in and some suspension parts. Interestingly, it's got 3 different holes for your different axle heights on here. And it looks like, well, 2 of them in the back are drilled out, but the ones in the front are not drilled out at all. So you're going to have to drill them out to, or actually, they only give you 1 metal axle. So maybe it's just the rear is the metal axle, and then there might be just pins or some kind of other attachments for the front. I didn't notice it in the directions when I was looking, but now that I'm looking over in the box of the parts, I do see the little axle pins, so they would go into here. And then you got your interior bucket, minimal amount of detail on the door panels, and then a, well, not the best looking dash, I wouldn't say. I don't see a whole lot of detail there. I mean, there is, but it's kind of a really crappy looking dash in my opinion. Last body part, before that, here's the taillights before I lose them. I'll give you two red clear taillights. And then here's the body itself. This looks pretty nice. It's got a lot of detail molded into it. I mean, you get your wiper blades molded in. It's got your door handles here, your little scoops on the side, up here, your fender moldings. It's a little uneven down here on the bottom. That could be an issue, because that looks like it's into the actual body, however that got trimmed there. But I guess we could maybe sand it so it's not as noticeable. And here's your front and the rear, where the taillights go in. But overall, it looks to be in decent shape and looks like it will detail up nicely. Here's your clear parts. You get, I think those are headlights there in the middle. And your front and rear windshields. Got some chrome rims, some chrome air cleaner, some chrome engine parts. Nice chrome finish on this chrome trees. Here's your grill with your marker lights. Got some other wheel options and a lot of suspension and engine chrome parts. So remains to be seen what will and will not remain chromed on this kit. So that's what we have now for the 69 Mustang, and so we'll just get cracking on this, and next up should be a update. Well, hey there, and it's time for an update on this 69 Mustang Mach 1 model kit. Through the magic of video, you can't tell, but it's been a while since I've been working on this kit because, I don't know, I've just been in kind of a funk the past few weeks, and I've picked up, I'm working on two kits right now, and I've picked both of them up periodically, and I sit down and I just haven't been in the mood to do anything on them. But last week I got motivated, and I got a lot more done on this Mustang. So basically I'm just going to tell you where we are since the last segment, show you issues that I've run across, and probably the next, unless I run into some major problem, the next thing you see will be the finished model. So I think I mentioned earlier that I was going to build all three engines that were shown in this kit. I'm not going to show you the instructions. They're too big to get in the way. They showed three different engine options in this kit, and I was going to build the two extra ones, but unfortunately what they call the custom engine, which is this one here, it uses some of the parts from the third engine, and so I couldn't build three complete engines, because as you've seen in some of my other videos, I like to put them on little stands, which this didn't come with, so I built another one like I've done before, just out of spare parts of sprue, and this should fit either engine, but I'm kind of leaning, I was going to use this custom engine, or whatever they've referred to it in the book, in the model, but I'll show you why I kind of may have decided against that. So here you see it on the stand that I built for it, and it'll just go along with all my other 125th engines in the display when, right now they're in a cabinet, but when I actually get a dedicated display for the models. And it doesn't even really need to be glued in there, but I'll probably end up gluing it on when I decide for sure which one I'm going to end up putting on there. But here is the stock engine, or at least what they call the stock engine for this model. And why I wanted to use the custom engine was because it comes with this Mach 1 hood, or not hood, but air cleaner intake. And as you can see here, there's a hole in this hood here, and the top of the air cleaner would stick out of that hole, and that's what they did on some Mach 1s, I believe back in the day as well, but especially when they brought it back in it was either in the late 90s or the early 2000s, when they brought back the Mustang Mach 1. And I always thought that looked pretty cool, but I just wasn't sure if I really wanted to do that. And I kind of test fitted over here on the chassis with the engine in, and I wasn't overly impressed with the way it looked. I didn't want to fiddle with it a whole lot to get it to... I mean, it lined up perfectly, believe it or not. I didn't even have to fiddle with anything at all, and we'll go into that in a second on why I thought I would have to. But the other option is to put this hood scoop on, which I thought was an aftermarket or custom thing. But when I was looking at pictures of them online, they actually do have this hood scoop. And so now I'm just toying with the idea of whether I want to try to tape this off and paint the black section of the hood, which extends into the cowl here, just in front of the windshield, and doesn't quite go all the way to the edge of the hood. So it's a little bit of fiddly tape work. I mean, not horribly hard. It's basically just, a square. But I don't know. I mean, the paint didn't come out too bad on this. As you can see, it's nice and shiny. So I'm almost hesitant to press my luck and try to put another color on top of that and end up getting wrinkled paint and ruin something. So, I mean, I don't think it needs the black, but it would definitely make it stand out more. So, like I said, right now I'm toying with that in my mind because I have to decide right now whether I'm going to do that, because I'm going to have to paint the body too, and I don't want to start painting the chrome trim and stuff on it and then have to go and tape everything off or mask everything to paint that black portion up here, and I'm definitely not going to do it with a brush. Anyhow, so that's kind of where we're sitting now. Now, the issues that I've had with this kit, although I wouldn't say they were horrid, they were very irritating. And the problem, I'm assuming this is a 60s or early 70s original design engineering. And for some reason, whoever designed this kit decided they didn't need locating pins and mounting divots or whatever you want to call them, where things go together so you know exactly where to put those parts. And that's quite a bit of irritation trying to put all, I mean, even on the engine and, I mean, pretty much everything on this kit was like that. I mean, there's just like, so far anyway, it's just so many little things where they just left it to chance that you could mess it up by not getting the pieces where they're supposed to go exactly, which would result in fit issues later on in the kit. So anyway, so that's the main problem that I've had with this kit so far. I kind of deviated a little. I don't normally go with the exact factory paint shades anyway, because that could get really expensive, and I'm not that anal about that. But I do kind of like to try to stick with something that was, close to what was available. But this one, I kind of went a little bit out on my own. I don't know if you can really tell on here, but this is dark blue. it's over a black, flat black primer. And so I decided to do like I'm getting my money's worth out of this bright light blue Tester's paint that I got on clearance. I didn't realize it when I picked it that it was, I think it's the exact same paint I used to paint the 59 El Camino and the 53 Studebaker. But anyhow, so I still have another can of it left too, so we're going to see it again. So I decided to do it in this blue. This is really close to a blue that was available on a Mustang in that era. And then I went with the dark blue for the interior, which I'm not even sure was really an option. I haven't really found one online looking, but there was a blue interior, but I don't think it was this dark blue. This almost looks purple on the black primer, but I think it looks pretty nice, and I already test fitted in there, and it looks pretty cool. I did some work on the see if you can see the wood grain kind of I had to paint for the dash and the console, and the seat belts. The dash had a molding issue. It looked like it was short shot between the two coves of the dash, but luckily it's an interior thing, so people don't usually look too close on the inside of the models. They're usually focused on the outside. But that should look pretty good when it get done. As far as the body and the chassis, I just put this on here to, like I say, just to test fit it. It fits pretty good, actually, surprisingly. Here's the underside. Again, issues with things that just randomly try to get them where they go. I mean, there was literally no locating pins for this exhaust at all. I just kind of had to let it sit down in its where it would kind of lay, and then I just glued it in. And the front wheels have those pins, so I maybe should have done my put the inner wheel and the locating pin in first to leave this play out of it, but I mean, it's not horrible. I've had a lot worse, but it rolls. Anyhow, another issue was this front lower part here where again, pretty much no locating pins. It doesn't even really fit right. I was crossing my fingers when I glued that on. Sort of a similar issue in the back one here, although not as bad. But I mean, I think it'll look okay when everything's all said and done. Anything else? I don't think so. I think we're pretty much done with the update. So thanks for staying with it this long, and the reveal should be coming up next. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the final reveal, which I don't think it turned out too bad. That said, I still can't recommend this kit. It just too many problems, too many issues trying to put this thing together. Couldn't get the frame to fit on the body really nice. I mean, you probably can't tell, which is, I guess, sort of a testament to being able to work miracles with a pile of poop. But anyway, like just all these little things, like the interior tub doesn't fit up against the door panels properly. Like I said, the body I couldn't get to the frame very well. The bumpers didn't fit right. There's like no locating pins on this more than half of the parts on this kit. The windshield was finicky to get in there. I mean, wasn't horrible, but just nothing. It's almost like they took two different kits that shouldn't have went together and put them in a box and made one kit out of it or something. I mean, I don't know what else could be the problem with this thing. It's just the decals I had issues with. I mean, Part of that was probably my fault, but you may notice it when it goes on the turntable. But like on the back quarter decals, the stripes, it tore trying to get it on there around the reflector. So I didn't bother trying to paint it in there, so I just left it off. I mean, it's not that noticeable, but and the curves of the decals didn't line up right with the fender wells, and it's just like one thing after another on this thing. It's just, I mean, I'm happy with the result. I don't think it looks horrible. In fact, I think it looks halfway decent, but it just was not fun to build with all these issues with the engineering of this kit. It's just ridiculous how many problems there were with this. So, I mean, yeah, you may find yourself in a different situation. You may think it's a great kit. Me, personally, I mean, I wouldn't really recommend this. I don't know if this has been re-released since, this is March 2006. I don't know if it's been put out since then under, you know, with a different picture or whatever, or different parts, or if they've improved it, or if it's exactly the same. But I'm sure eventually it'll find its way onto the shelf again at some point if it hasn't already. So just beware. I don't think it's the greatest kit in the world. So anyhow, so let's dispense with the close-up on the turntable, and we'll get out of here. Oh, before I completely forget, here's that spare engine that I mounted on my own constructed stand. So that'll go with my engines display. Give you a look at that. So we'll take this off the turntable and get moving here.